The notification popped up on my phone at exactly 3:47 p.m., a bone-dry Tuesday as I sat in the hospital parking lot after a 12-hour shift that felt like a whole winter. I'm a pediatric nurse, eyes still stinging from antiseptic, hands a little shaky from lifting a brave 8-year-old who just had his knee stitched. The family group chat lit up with a tone so casual, it was almost cheerful in its cruelty. This Christmas, we're hosting Hannah's fiancé and his family. The table's only got room for them. Maya and little Lily can eat somewhere else, or we'll figure it out later. I read each word slowly like swallowing ice. Hannah, my lawyer track sister, the family's golden child, followed with a sentence that set my blood alight. But you'll still cook like always, okay? Start marinating the turkey tonight. Then Dad slid in with his usual entitlement. Don't make us feel bad, I still want the nice golf club set. I glanced at the booster seat behind me, covered in rainbow unicorn stickers. My 7-year-old Lily, brilliant and autistic, who could name every dinosaur from the Mesozoic and do math that makes teachers pause. How was I supposed to tell my kid that Grandma couldn't save her a chair? How was I supposed to keep being the unpaid chef for a table that had erased our names? One quiet, pounding question knocked in my skull. If they've already cut me from the table, why am I still setting it? We're a white-fenced Cleveland suburb family, the kind that mows in summer, shovels in winter, and looks postcard nice from the curb. But under the fresh paint, the cracks are loud. I'm Maya Lopez, the second daughter, long cast as the reasonable one. When Hannah graduated Case Western, who cooked for 50 people? Me too. When Dad had his gallbladder surgery last spring at Cleveland Clinic, who took unpaid time off to ferry him and track fevers? Me. When Mom wanted to impress her book club every month, who catered like a restaurant for free? You know. And still, when it came time to sit, my chair and Lily's was always to be determined. They moved Easter brunch without telling me. They left us off the Lake Erie Cottage weekend because it might be too stimulating for Lily. They set plates for 14 on Thanksgiving, and somehow I counted 13. Year after year, I made excuses. It must be an oversight, right? That 3:47 p.m. text slapped the excuses out of me. It wasn't an accident, it was policy. Lily is different in a gorgeous way. She can recite the Mesozoic lineup, solve problems that make her second-grade teacher blink, and clock feelings in people that the people themselves can't name. She needs routine, a quiet corner, and no sensory ambushes. What my child needs, my family boiled down to one word: inconvenient. They whispered about her stimming like it was a sin. They said she needed more intensive therapy, code for keep her away when important people come. And that night, they told me to cook but not sit. Not a request, a decree. I turned my phone off for the first time in my adult life. At the hospital, the ER was unusually still, like the walls were holding their breath in winter air. I tied a tourniquet, passed gauze to Dr. Patel, and listened to a kid look at his knee and tell the truest thing: this hurts. Children are honest in ways we forget. On my break, I turned the phone back on. 17 missed calls, 43 texts. Maya, answer now. This behavior is unacceptable. Are you really ignoring us? Then a new ping from Aunt Ruth, newly added to the chat. Heard Christmas is going to be grand. What time should we arrive? They'd invited Akron relatives. So it wasn't no room. It was no room for us. Memory ran a highlight reel. Myrtle Beach without our names because the ocean's too loud for Lily. Thanksgiving I cooked for 14 but sat 13, the mysterious vanishing chairs. In the staff room, I told my coworker Tessa the sentence I'd been ducking. My family is ashamed of my child because she's autistic. Saying it felt like loosening a tourniquet, painful but blood returned. Next morning, Lily bounced into the kitchen in reindeer pajamas, lining up her orange juice toast and vitamins in a perfect straight line. Mom, can we make the reindeer brownies again this weekend? She was all focus, small hands arranging the world into her kind of order. How can anyone look at that and see only problem? A thought struck like lightning. I opened my laptop. Christmas in New York City, holiday package, the Astoria Plaza. The price was exactly what I'd planned to blow on gifts for people who couldn't save us a chair. Ice skating in Central Park, the Rockefeller tree, Broadway matinees, perfect for a 7-year-old who loves music and story and can leave if it's too much. Lily leaned in. What's that? A Christmas adventure, just us. Her eyes went Times Square bright. Like a fancy hotel and room service? Exactly. The calls came like sirens. Dad left a voicemail that chewed every syllable. Maya Elena Lopez, call me back, don't make us look bad. Mom finally caught me at lunch, voice tight as wire. You scared me. Hannah needs to finalize the menu. Your father's golf clubs. I chewed my turkey sandwich slowly. When you stop putting out everyone else's fires, every conversation sounds different. Mom, where exactly are Lily and I supposed to eat at this formal dinner? Silence, then the script. You understand. David's family is very traditional, old Connecticut money. With Lily's as challenges, it might be best if... So I cook, but I don't sit. Don't be dramatic. You know we love you both. It's just complicated. It's simple. You're embarrassed by my daughter. It's not about embarrassment. It's about what's best for everyone. Everyone except us. I hung up. A week ago, I would have apologized. Today, my shoulders dropped an inch in relief. December 23rd came crisp and blue, Cleveland looking like it stepped out of a postcard. Lily was up before her alarm, cross-legged on her bed, purple suitcase open, checking her list with NASA-level thoroughness. Did you pack your fancy dress for the restaurant? Yep. Did you pack your skating mittens? Check. And my camera, my Christmas journal, and my comfort blanket for the train. We chose Amtrak. The gentle, rocking calms Lily like a lullaby you can sit inside. Mrs. McCarthy, our neighbor, called from her mailbox. Holiday trip. New York City, Lily's first tagged. Lily bounced. We're going to see the giant tree and skate and eat pancakes in our room. Nothing like Christmas in the city, she grinned. The train pulled away as Mom's name lit my screen. I can't find the shopping list you make every year. I'm not making one. What do you mean? How will we know what to buy for the brine? I'm not cooking. Remember? Hannah's got it. She can't cook for 12. Funny, you still won't say 13. Ohio rolled past the window, lily-colored trees and rinks and stars. For the first time in years, I felt peace bloom like a shy flower. I'm exactly where I belong, Mom. The Astoria Plaza lobby was a movie scene. Marble floors, crystal chandeliers, a Christmas tree like a net full of stars. The concierge greeted Lily like visiting royalty, handed her a teddy bear, ran through holiday activities with sincere warmth. No one stared when she flapped her hands from joy. Our 12th floor suite looked out on Central Park. Can we really order anything? Anything. 20 minutes later, we were in unicorn PJs and soft socks, sharing warm chocolate chip cookies, while horse-drawn carriages looped the park below. My phone exploded again. Missed calls, texts, likely voicemails Lily didn't need to hear. But tucked in the storm were surprises. My cousin Alex from California. Good for you. About time. Aunt Martha in Pittsburgh. Honey, I'm proud you chose yourself and Lily. Word had spread. Not everyone was horrified by my rebellion. Are they very angry at us? Lily asked. They're surprised. They're not used to hearing no. Will they figure out dinner without us? I pictured Hannah with knives still in packaging. Mom discovering every restaurant was booked solid. Dad realizing his precious golf clubs weren't going to materialize under the tree. They'll learn. Grown-ups have to learn to solve their own problems, too. Christmas Eve brought perfect skating weather. Lily squeezed my hand and wobbled onto the Woolman run, falling exactly 3 times and laughing exactly 3 times, then finding a rhythm like a small bird that forgot it could fly and then remembered. She made a friend from Texas. They compared mittens, counted laps, counted stars. Watching her glide unburdened, I understood. Childhood is supposed to look like this. No apologies, no measuring yourself against impossible adults. That evening, while we shared chocolate souffle in the glittering dining room, the phone rang again. Hannah's voice was smaller than I'd ever heard, shorn of courtroom armor. Maya, listen, we tried to cook today, and? Disaster. The turkey was raw inside, burnt outside. Mom had a full meltdown. Dad ordered pizza for 12. David's parents wanted to sink through the floor. I said nothing long enough for her to hear her own breath. Then she admitted the thing that moved the needle. David's mother asked which caterer we use, the one that's always perfect. I told her the truth. We don't have a caterer. We have you. We took you for granted. She added that David's father does pro bono work with special needs kids. He explained autism the way my family never let themselves hear. How bright autistic kids are, how different processing is a gift, how respect looks like making room at the table, not shrinking the child to fit the chairs. I pictured that dinner table at home, and finally, someone there teaching manners to the keepers of tradition. 3 months later, with Ohio thawing into slush, Lily and I planned spring break in San Francisco. Cable cars, sourdough, the Golden Gate like a bitten apple in the fog. My family, as promised, tried to do better, each in their own way. Mom started asking before deciding. Dad stopped demanding expensive gifts, at least in text. Hannah sent a long email apology with links to resources for families like ours. But the transformation that mattered most didn't come from them. It came from us, from me choosing to stop being the ladder for everyone else to climb. But back to the beginning, the moment I want you to pocket and keep asking yourself, are you setting the table for a party that doesn't have your name on the guest list? That 3:47 p.m. text didn't just uninvite me. It pulled the curtain back on the stage I'd been performing on for years. The standout line of my opening, what I told my phone steady and clear, was, if there isn't a seat for my child, there isn't a kitchen from me. That's the slap. I will not cook a feast that excludes me. The big question for me, and maybe for you, is when does filial duty tighten into a noose called obligation? The body of this story runs like a winter train, each station a memory, each clack a reason for what I did, even when it wasn't pretty. I kept quiet to protect Mom's feelings, Dad's pride, Hannah's schedule. I taught myself to live at the sink, as if my presence belonged to water and soap, not conversation and dessert. I used to think, if they're happy, I can handle one more lonely plate. But feelings aren't pans you can shove in a cupboard. They crust, they salt, they sting. The night I told Tessa they're ashamed of my kid, I stopped lying to myself. Then I behaved according to the truth, booked the trip, spent the gift budget on a hotel key card, bought ice skate tickets instead of a 9-iron. Some will call that ungrateful. I call it refusing to betray my daughter. Here's the real punchline to the climax. The failure turkey wasn't the twist. The twist happened at the rink when Lily, breath clouding in the cold, looked up and asked, "Mom, are we a bother?" The question of a child who's been taught by grown-ups that she's overweight luggage. I knelt until our eyes lined up, took her snow-cold hand, and said slowly to etch each word into memory, "No, you are the reason I found my seat." That's when I realized I wasn't fighting my family with forks. I was choosing joy as my weapon, my child's laughter as my anthem, a table set for two by a hotel window as my truce with the world. The ending arrived like late March Ohio sun, weak but warm. My family started paying the price, not cash, but attention. Mom practiced, "Maya, what do you think?" instead of "you need to." Dad swapped, "don't make us feel guilty," for "I want to understand Lily." Hannah invited us to a small lunch. No guests, asked how to set a low-sensory table. A quiet corner, soft chair back, clear schedule taped by the fridge. They still slip. Mom cranks music too loud. Dad says, "try to act normal." But now they stop and apologize. Forgiveness, if it's coming, has to arrive in small, steady actions, not grand oaths poured over a ruined turkey. I learned something too. Boundaries aren't walls, they're doors. I'm the one with the keys. One April afternoon, I picked Lily up from school and we swung by the used bookshop, bought a paper map of San Francisco. Lily dotted it with a marker, the Science Museum, Fisherman's Wharf, the ice cream place that scoops with a shovel. I typed into the family chat, "Yes, I'm still there. I didn't run. I stood up straight." For spring break, we're heading to California this Christmas. If things really are different, we'll talk. Mom replied with something I never expected to read. "I want to learn to cook a dinner that works for Lily. Will you teach me?" I didn't answer right away. I set the phone down and watched my kid line up book clips in rainbow order and thought, maybe. The closing line that still glows came on a quiet night as we glued New York photos into Lily's journal. "Mom," she asked, "if people don't have a table for us, can we bring our own chairs?" I laughed and pulled her close. "We can, but first we ask, does that table deserve us?" "Just if forgiveness fits anywhere in here, I'm giving it to myself first. I choose not to haul anger like a carry-on. I'll remember pancakes delivered under silver domes, the scrape of blades on ice, church bells in Manhattan, and the way my child's eyes learned that the world holds places for her. Not by luck, but because her mother learned to say no at the right time. As I write this, I don't know what next Christmas will look like. Maybe we'll sit at an old table with 2 new name cards, Maya and Lily. Maybe we'll slip out on December 23rd again and catch another train to another city, harvesting a new holiday for the album. The door isn't slammed, but the handle's on my side. And if you're still reading, maybe some part of my story brushed yours. Maybe you're standing in the kitchen of your own life, wrists wet, scrubbing for a feast that doesn't list you anywhere. Maybe you're asking, am I valuable because I serve or because I exist? I learned the answer at 3:47 that afternoon. It didn't ring like a church bell or crack like fireworks. It was the tiny click of "Do Not Disturb," the soft thud of Lily's suitcase closing, the hush of a hotel armchair as we sat and split the last strawberry on a stack of pancakes, and the one sentence that still tightens my throat, the one I send to myself, to my sister, to my parents, to anyone who confuses love with convenience. Don't call crumbs a feast. If there isn't a seat for my child, it isn't our table.